What's poppin', everybody? We're going to be recapping UFC Winnipeg, and I'm not going to lie to y'all. Your boy got cooked. We went like 6-5 and 1 on the card because of that draw. But what I'm about to do is I'm going to go and recap the main event down to the prelim headliner and talk about some of these fights. This was one of the cards of all time, right? It was one of them. And we're going to start with Gilbert Burns, man. The slime out of Gilbert Burns. Honestly, though, Gilbert Burns was doing like okay and decent in the first round and the second, but it's just this. If you're gonna fight at Mike Malott's pace that way, like Mike Malott is a guy that he can get tired, but if you're gonna let him kind of just tit for tat you and let him control the range, that's what's gonna happen. Gilbert Burns definitely looked old. He looked his age. He didn't have that explosiveness that he had in his younger years to get those takedowns. Mike Malott had an answer for all the takedowns. He managed the distance really well. He was hitting Gilbert Burns at range. That uppercut kept landing for him, and by the third round, he just puts Gilbert Burns away with uppercuts, hurts him bad, and puts him away. It really, really sucked to see Gilbert Burns lose to freaking Proper Mike. Like, this is what we're doing now, Gilbert. I'm glad you hung up the gloves because we're losing to Proper Mike. Proper Mike Malott. That's what we're losing to. I expect Mike Malott to eventually get fraud checked in this division. I don't think he's top 10 worthy. I'm not even sure if he's top 15 worthy. And I might be a little bit of a hater, I'm not going to lie to you. But I've never seen anything that impressed me about Mike Malott, including this Gilbert Burns win. Because even though I picked Gilbert Burns, it wasn't because I thought Gilbert Burns was prime Gilbert Burns that fought Hamzat. I just thought Mike Malott was literally that terrible and that he had no heart. That's what it was. But nonetheless, congratulations to Canada. You guys have a ranked contender at 170, even if I don't think that he's going to do much. So congrats to Canada. Moving on to the co-main event, which I thought was the fight of the night. This was a really, really good scrap. Kyler Phillips takes down Charles Jourdain in the first round, starts controlling him. Charles Jourdain, sticking to what I thought would be the game plan, was trying to make Kyler Phillips work, even if Kyler Phillips was on top. Although I did expect Kyler Phillips to do better controlling Charles Jourdain, I guess Jourdain has a lot more strength and is just a lot harder to keep down at the 135 division than he is at the 145 division. So that's good on Charles Jourdain. But after that first round, this kind of turned into like more of a scrap. Kyler Phillips trying to get them takedowns again. But Charles Jourdain making him work, punishing him on the feet, really, really putting in that work. This was a really, really close fight, especially going into the third, because Charles Jourdain was working so hard on bottom. He made himself tired, so then we had a gassed-out Kyler and a gassed-out Charles Jourdain. But Charles Jourdain just had more heart in this fight. He impressed me. This is the first guy, like, not near the age of 40 that he won against, and I think that's good for his career. I don't know if he's going to do that well against any other bantamweights in this division. If I'm being honest, I think he'd probably lose to a Hani Barcelos. He could lose to a Ricky Simone. But Charles Jourdain's always a fun fighter to watch. I'm not going to hate on Charles Jourdain. We love Charles Jourdain, so congrats to him and congrats to Canada. Again, I was wrong. Canada, this is when I'm going to start talking my shit. Nallo, who I picked, by the way. I went terrible on this card, I'm telling you, bro. It was real bad. But Nallo, the 36-year-old prospect of Canada, goes in there, tries to run through a vet like Jai Herbert, and ends up getting slept in the first round after knocking the dude down like 4 or 5 times. Insanity, great fight, entertaining fight. Like I've said before, I think Nallo is going to be an entertaining fighter. We're going to love watching him fight. We're going to love his fights. They're going to be back and forth. He's going to be a finished or be finished type of guy. He's not going to be elite. This is, I don't know why I fell for the propaganda. Like, everybody was loving this guy. I kind of had a feeling, but I was like, no way he loses to Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert doesn't have durability. No. He ends up becoming a Jai Herbert slime out victim in the Big 26. Nasty work. You got to have a pause for him. That's crazy. Crazy work. But yeah, Canada, you let me down here. I picked your guy. all the MMA fans out there that was hyping up this guy. Yeah, I don't think I think he might be a fraud. I kind of knew it. 36-year-old prospect is kind of suspect. But yeah, it didn't go good for him. An entertaining fight, though, and I think he'll be like an entertaining fighter. I think we'll get some cool back-and-forth wars. And, you know, that is what it is, you know, Canadian MMA. Moving on to a Canadian I'm actually a fan of, Jasudavicius. I honestly thought that she didn't look that great in this fight. Yes, she was able to land on top and get some control, maybe get into some side control crucifix positions. But her and Karine Silva, awful on the feet, terrible watch. I didn't like how she just kept ending up in submission attempts. Like, if the judges really decided, they probably could have gave Karine Silva a round or two, if I'm being real. Karine Silva was landing some better shots off her back than Jasmine was on top, honestly. But yeah, Karine Silva showed that she's basically has no takedown defense. If you get her down on her back, she's going to jiu-jitsu nerd it up. You know, she's going to be trying omoplatas, trying these submissions that if she gets them, it's going to be a highlight finish. If she doesn't, she's going to look like a jiu-jitsu nerd. But Jasmine did the right thing. She stayed on top. She looked busy. And that's enough to get you a win in WMMA. You don't even have to be getting closer to a finish to win in WMMA, which arguably Karine Silva probably was doing that more. But I'll take the win because I did not want to go lose 4 in a row. So I'm glad that Jasmine won. Good on her. I still don't think she's anything special. There's a reason why Manon Farrow ran through her the way she did. But, you know, Jasmine's going to be a fun fighter. She's going to be a staple in Canadian MMA for the next maybe 2 or 3 years. So there's that. That's all I really have to say about that fight. Moving on to Gage Young versus Thiago Moises. I had Gage Young here, and I thought he looked pretty good. First round, a little tough. Thiago Moises gets his back, wins the round, kind of secures it. I thought Thiago Moises was like losing on the feet, though. And a lot of people were really like overrating Thiago Moises in this fight. I got like hate for picking Gage Young. I'm like, guys, Thiago Moises lost to Jared Gordon. Not a bad loss. Like I was telling you guys, getting slimed out by Jared Gordon, that's not good. That is not good. That's like major holes on the feet. You probably don't like being hit like that no more. And you know what? Honestly, Thiago kind of showed that he had a little bit more dog in him this fight. But like Gage Young just really beat him on the feet. He was hitting him with low kicks, a lot of volume, a lot of pitter-pat. And in the third round, if Gage Young decided not to emote in the third, he probably could have got a finish. That being said, he got a lot of hate for that. I'm okay with it because I just picked him to win. But yeah, Thiago Moises, guys. You guys kind of overrated Thiago Moises. I was hearing a lot this week. But he took down Islam that one time. I'm like, yeah, he literally got bullied by BSD and slimed out by Jared Gordon. When Jared Gordon don't slime out motherfuckers, this is not what he does. So yeah, Gage Young won. I thought this was one of the easiest picks on the card. I can't believe it was controversial at all. And yeah, we're going to move on to the next fight. Moving on to the prelim headliner between Mauricio Barbosa and Dennis Bazooka. Yo, Mauricio Barbosa is for real. I like dude. I like him a lot. It's getting dangerous with these Brazilians, guys. We got Brazilian slime out artists, guys with dynamite in their hand. Between this guy and Douglas the other week, oh man. Like, if I was at the 145 division, I don't know if I want the smoke. I might move down. I might move up. These Brazilian prospects are coming and have heavy hands and solid boxing fundamentals. The hook that he hit Dennis Bazooka with, beautiful. Lays him out cold. To be fair, Dennis Bazooka probably did not belong in there with Barbosa, but I'm happy to see what Barbosa does next. I think, man, these Brazilian prospects are getting scary. The Brazilian knockout prospects are in full effect. Maybe one day we could get a Douglas versus Barbosa matchup, and that shit's going to go crazy, bro. I'm telling you. The slime out of Bazooka, nasty work. That hook that hit him literally floors him and like puts him out completely. I enjoy. That was probably my favorite knockout of the night. I really enjoyed this guy. looking forward to seeing more of his fights. I really, really am. That's it for UFC Winnipeg. I really don't have that much else I want to talk about. There was that one robbery, but it is what it is. We will get over that. Investigate these judges, right? But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me for more UFC content, guys. Peace. I love y'all.